Hey everyone! Man, I miss you guys. Welcome to my living room. As you know, we've been making these videos each week just to check in and say hello. It's day 24 of my quarantine experience, and honestly, I thought I would have had this whole quarantine thing down by now. Thought I would have learned a new instrument, learned a language, completed 3 puzzles, and read a whole bunch of books. But in reality, none of that has happened, and I'm still just trying to figure out how I'm feeling about all of this with each new day. On day 11, I came across an article that's been the most helpful thing I've read so far as I've navigated the ups and downs of the past couple of weeks. And since I first read it, I've continued to recommend it and talk about it in conversation, and I think I read some portion of it almost every other day. It's the article that Matt referenced in his most recent MailChimp, and yes, he and I have also talked about it. The title of the article is "That Discomfort You're Feeling is Grief." Now, I don't know about you, but the title alone pretty much nailed it for me. That discomfort you're feeling is grief. Because I am grieving. We are collectively grieving the loss of the world that we all lived in before this. We're grieving the loss of routine, of physical touch and connection, of gathering, of collective celebration, and of our own safety. We're grieving the loss of going to school or to work, of reductions in hours and pay, of not being able to do our work in the ways that we're used to. Some of us are grieving not being able to have a minute alone anymore because we're with our families all the time, while others of us are grieving because we feel particularly alone. We're even grieving in anticipation because we don't know when this will end, and because we know that life will look different on the other side. Now, the best part about the article for me, though, which was an interview with David Kessler, the world's leading expert on grief, was when he walked through the different reactions and emotions that I personally have felt and have seen others feeling. He identifies which of the stages of grief corresponded to each reaction, and then he takes it one step further. He adds a 6th stage. And that 6th stage is meaning. And by meaning, he doesn't mean the bigger meaning of why is this all happening? Instead, he means that we will find light and purpose in this new normal. Because in grief, we see that the things that we've lost because of this season, they mattered. They held meaning for each of us. We might not have realized just how much meaning at the time, but now we do. And it's okay and it's good to grieve their loss. It's okay if you haven't found any new meaning yet because you're still sad or angry. All of those feelings are good and valid. And my hope is that by us being able to name the grief and then name the meaning, that you will be able to find it. And Kessler says, meaning doesn't take away the pain. It just provides a cushion to fall back on when you're ready. Now, the cushions that you're finding may seem small right now. I know mine are. For me, the meaning has been in developing new routines and in having the time to sit and really talk to a friend, virtually of course, that I see often, but don't always get to just sit with. And in looking forward to my now weekly grocery run, when before all of this, I dreaded going to the grocery store. But now it has meaning, because it gets me out of the house and allows me to see other 3-dimensional human beings, even if I'm not talking to them. Now today is Palm Sunday, and while I'm sad that we're not waving palms and kicking off Holy Week together, I think this week, more than any other, is a week that gives us hope that we will find meaning. Because just as we're grieving, the disciples grieved the betrayal and death of their friend and Lord. And even though they didn't know it at the time, their grief was not endless. So in this week, allow yourself to grieve and to lament as we finish up the journey of Lent. And in your grief, know that Jesus sees you in it. Know that Easter is coming. It's going to look a lot different this year, but it's coming. And know that this is not the end of the story. I love you guys. I miss you all so much, and I hope that you enjoy the service from Arlington today and that I get to see you all in person again very, very soon.